On behalf of our Vice Chancellor, I welcome you to the 205th inaugural lecture of our great citadel of academic excellence. The title of today's lecture is Undermining the Homegrown Technologies of Processing and Preservation, Playing Poker with Food Security. It will be delivered by Alaba Olumurewa, Professor of Food and Bioresource Engineering. A round of applause for the inaugural lecture. In tandem with the established tradition of our institution, today's ceremony will be presided over by our Vice Chancellor, the very first female Vice Chancellor of this great citadel of academic excellence, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, Fellow Academy of Science. Our principal officers are also here. Let me start with the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Taiwo Timothy Amos. A round of applause for him, please. I'd like to introduce the Registrar, Chief Scribe of our institution, Mr. Charles Olusegun Adeleye. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Bursar, Mr. Peter Oladapo Oshaduba. The University Librarian is Dr. Robert Akande Aboyemi. I introduce the Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Biodu Oladipo. You are welcome, sir. The Dean of Logistics and Innovation Technology is represented here today by Professor Emmanuel Olumurewa. You are welcome, sir. The Dean of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology is here in person, Professor Alaba Olumurewa. Let us make welcome the Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences, Professor Mojisola Udo. You are welcome. I welcome the Dean of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Tumilola Oluwayemi Omoya. You are welcome. Let's welcome the Dean of Computing, Professor Latibosu Olabode. The round of applause. I welcome the Dean of Electrical Systems Engineering, Professor Adegoke Oladipo Melody. You are welcome, sir. The Dean of Health and Mineral Sciences, Professor Adegoke Oluleye. You are welcome, sir. The Dean of Environmental Technology is being represented by Professor Adebayo Emmanuel. I welcome the Dean of Infrastructure, Mineral and Manufacturing Engineering, Professor Christopher Oluwakomi Akindele. You are welcome. The Dean of Life Sciences is also here, Professor Musa Olawale Oladipo. You are welcome, sir. I welcome Professor Femi Benabas Ademola, the Dean of Physical Sciences. A round of applause for him. The Dean of Postgraduate Studies is also here with us, Professor Sheson Peter Ayodeji. And the Dean of one of our US schools, attending his first inaugural lecture, Professor Victor Adeluwade, School of Science and Technology Education. And of course, the Dean of the largest courses on campus, Dean Student Affairs Division, Professor David Olanwaju Oke. Round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite to the podium the chairperson of today's occasion, our Vice Chancellor, to deliver our address. Madam Vice Chancellor.
The University Librarian, the Bursar, my lords, spiritual and temporal, top government functionaries here present, the inaugural lecturer of today, John Alaba Olumurewa, deans, directors, and heads of departments, particularly on the 24th of September 1968 in Ilesha, Osun State. He had his primary and secondary education at Pillar Grammar School, Ilesha, between October 1990 and June 1985, as well as United Anglican Methodist Grammar School, Ilesha, also from October 1986 to June 1987. He attended the University of Ibadan, where he obtained B.Sc. Agricultural Engineering in 1994, MSc Engineering Processing and Storage Option in 1997, and PhD in Agricultural Engineering also Processing and Storage Option in the year 2005. John Alaba Olumurewa joined the services of the Federal University of Technology as Assistant Lecturer in the Department of Food Science and Technology in September 2003. He rose through the ranks to the position of Professor in October 2015. He has supervised over 20 master's dissertations and more than 5 PhD theses. He has authored and co-authored many journal articles in reputable peer-reviewed journals and presented papers at several conferences both within and outside Nigeria. Professor Olumurewa belongs to several professional bodies, some of which are the Nigerian Institute of Agricultural Engineering, Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, Nigerian Society of Engineers, among others. Professor Olumurewa has had years of experience both in lectureship and management positions in the university system, and has served the Federal University of Technology in many capacities, very significantly as the Director of our Center for Renewable Energy Technology, a position he has assumed in April 2024 till date. He is the Chairman, Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit from March 2024 to date. He was Chairman, University Sanitation Committee between the year 2020 and 2022. He was the pioneer head, Department of Biotechnology between 2018 and 2022. He served as Sideways Coordinator for the School of Agri between 2017 and 2019, and Hall Master for Abiola Hall between 2017 and 2021. He is a member of Senate and has served as a member of Business Committee of Senate between 2016 and 2024. For extracurricular activities, Professor Olumurewa serves presently as the Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Agricultural Engineers, the Southwest Region. He is the Chairman, Road and Electricity Maintenance Committee of Araloko, Irodo, Ilesha, Osun State from 2012 to date. He is Assistant Pastor, Christ Trumpeters Church, Ilesha, Osun State from 2021 till date. And he served as Secretary, Nigerian Institution of also Agricultural Engineers from 2017 to 2022. He is happily married, and the union is blessed with promising children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, about the lecture of today, indigenous community tested methods passed down through generations to transform raw agricultural produce are essential survival strategies. They keep food safe, prevent spoilage, and extend shelf life without expensive factory equipment. Furthermore, they reduce post-harvest losses, add economic value, and ensure year-round food security without relying on modern electricity. The inaugural lecture of today, within the space of 45 minutes, will enlighten us on the looming danger of continuing the neglect of indigenous indigenous technologies and excessive dependence on imported solutions, and the threats they pose to food security in Nigeria. The lecture would also guide us on the way out of the food insecurity challenge. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have before us today a distinguished scholar to present the 205th inaugural lecture of the university titled Undermining the Homegrown Technologies of Processing and Preservation, Playing Poker with Food Security. Please join me as I welcome Professor John Alaba
Do permit me to briefly share my journey into Food and Bioresource Engineering before delving into main substance of this lecture, which I believe is both thought-provoking as well as deserving attention from government, stakeholders, and the general public. My journey into engineering, a calling that needed no prophecy. My journey into engineering began during my childhood. Driven by curiosity and passion to solving practical problems, my parents could not afford to sponsor my immediate senior sister and me in secondary school at the same time. Hence, after completing my primary education in 1978 at Engr, I had to accompany my elder brother to Mesile to repeat primary 6 at the Jana Methodist Primary School. At Mesile, we had only one lantern, one table, and one chair in our household. Having graduated at the textbook in my junior school, I was determined not to allow my academic performance to decline. This determination led me to begin collecting discarded post-like batteries, buried, connecting them to the punch board, thereby devising a simple lighting system for reading at night. By the end of that year, my experiment had advanced to the point where I wired and powered my father's house using a combination of these batteries. Neighbors were amazed and often wondered how our house made it related without the generator. They would be asking questions. Baba and Baba were generator. You put you to meaning that my father did not put on the generator. Where is the light from? Those are the experiences of things that set my mind on fire to become an engineer. Olympian and became the great beneficiary of the first set of strength under the free education program of Kuala during my secondary school years, particularly in Form 4. I had one teachers for physics, chemistry, or mathematics. Nevertheless, because of my unwavering determination to study engineering, I taught myself teaching textbooks such as Lambert, Lego, Stone and Process, reading them repeatedly 4 times, each from cover to cover. By the grace of God, I obtained distinctions in these subjects. How I became a proud member of the Food and Bioresource Engineering family. In 1988, I sat for joint admission on matriculation board examination with electrical electronics, engineering, and inaugural was my first choice, and agricultural engineering at the University of Nevada was my second choice. I gained admission with agricultural engineering at the University of Nevada. Initially, I was disappointed. Coming from a family background, I wonder why I should attend the university only to study what I thought was simply fun. Without anyone to guide or encourage me, this misconception negatively affected my academic performance during my first and second years. Everything changed in my third year. When I realized agricultural engineering was much more than fun. Out of curiosity, I approached one of my lecturers, Engineer Engr, and I said, "Oh guys, you have picked somebody." He answered me with a question, "Family working with what have you done wrong again?" I then asked why the program was for agricultural engineering, when it was so much engineering, science, and technology. That encounter transformed my perspective. Unfortunately, my earlier lack of understanding already cost me the opportunity of graduating in the first class. Determined to obtain my academic knowledge, I pursued a master's degree and graduate distinction in 1997. That gave me the opportunity to reference to industrial research as a research observer. Throughout my academic career, food processing has remained a central passion and area of specialization. Justification for the title of this lecture. For a better understanding of the topic under discussion, it is important to clarify some key concepts embedded in the title of this lecture: homegrown technologies, food processing and preservation, plain poker, and food security. Plain poker. The expression plain poker is used figuratively. In poker, players often conceal their intentions or circumstances, pretending that everything is under control when significant risks beneath the surface. Thus, plain poker with food security implies taking dangerous risks with an issue that is too important to be left to chance. Food security. The most widely accepted definition provided by the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO 2001 said that food security exists when more people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and useful food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. According to FAO 2008, food security rests on 4 pillars: food availability, accessibility, utilization, and stability. Homegrown technology. The term homegrown technology is often used interchangeably with indigenous technology, local technology, or domestically developed technology. Indigenous homegrown technology is the technology developed by local people through the study of existing technologies, adaptation to local environmental conditions, improvement and eventual creation of original innovations suited to local needs. For example, 2021. Food processing and preservation. Food processing is the application of physical, chemical, and biological operations to transform raw agricultural materials into safe, nutritious, convenient, and acceptable food products, while food preservation is the science and technology of preventing or delaying food spoilage through various treatments, thereby maintaining safety, nutritional value, and quality while extending shelf life. Among 2007, Fellows 2017. Food engineering. On 21st September 2021, Professor Christopher Akibile delivered a talk on the inaugural podium in which he explained the concept of engineering and agricultural engineering, and identified food engineering as an important branch of agricultural engineering. This presentation seeks to extend that discourse by examining food engineering in greater detail, highlighting its principles, applications, and contributions to food processing, preservation, quality assurance, and food security. Food engineering definition. Food engineering is a branch of engineering that applies engineering principles, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and political sciences to the processing, preservation, packaging, storage, distribution, and utilization of food products. It focuses on designing and improving equipment, processes, and systems that transform raw agricultural materials into safe, nutritious, and high-quality foods. Key areas of food engineering are food process, food preservation, food packaging, post-harvest, process and system, and bioprocess engineering. My contributions to the advancement of food engineering as a profession under the different key areas. Food process engineering. From the 2005, evaluated for processing methods, extrusion, boiling, and sunlight, and boiling and overnight for producing soil fat from class 14 to 48 soybean variety obtained from the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IIT, and the new variety purchased from the local market. The process samples were made into flour and analyzed for protein content, flour yield, and sensory acceptability. Although extrusion produced the highest protein content and acceptability, its flour yield was significantly lower than those of the other methods. Family 2007 study three-stage roller made, consisting of 4 cylindrical rollers arranged in a parallelogram configuration. The concept was developed and evaluated for flour production from maize, beans, and soybeans. The first pair of propagated rollers initiated 6 phases, while the second and third pairs of smooth rollers progressively reduced the particle size. The main products were separated into chaff, flour, and past particles, while the past fraction of the material recycled into the hopper for further milling. Family 2013 reported the design, construction, and evaluation of a continuous biomass fuel water distiller to provide a low-cost means of producing portable water using renewable biomass as the lead source. The equipment fabricated from stainless steel and accordance with the American Society of Agricultural Engineers (ASE) standards was designed for durability, ease of maintenance, user acceptability, and operational versatility. The result demonstrated that the biomass fuel distiller can effectively produce a safe, high quality, and distilled water at a relatively low operating cost, with sawdust proving to be a more economical energy source. Family 2014 evaluated the effect of 9 temperature on the nutritional, functional, and nutritional properties of cocoa flour. Drying at 60 to 70% produced flour with superior protein content and functional properties, while the nutritional factors remain below safe limits despite temperature variations. The findings show that low temperature drying between 60 to 70% is most suitable for producing high quality cocoa flour for food processing applications. Family 1 the 2014 demonstrated that optimizing drying temperature and air velocity significantly enhanced hydrogen removal. Optimal detoxification achieved at 70 degrees centigrade and 2.75 meters per second, 14 ms 0572, and 60 to 70 degrees centigrade at 2.75 meters per second, 14 ms 98.0581. Reducing silence to stay limits in the related study. Family 1 in 2014 evaluated the drying kinetics of 77 varieties in the fluidized bed dryer and found that the modified inertia and purpose model best predicted their drying behavior. Together, the studies provide optimized drying conditions and a reliable predictive model for producing safe, high-quality cassava chips. Family 1 in 2014 effect of maturity and drying methods on breadfruit flour. Breadfruit flour quality was evaluated. It was reported that some bread with the highest protein content and consumer acceptability, while the bread gave the highest carbohydrate content. Drying significantly reduced nutritional factors, with fruit maturity having it on flour texture. Considering nutritional quality, safety, and processing practicality, variable drying on mature breadfruit was recommended as the most suitable method because of the high protein flour with low nutritional factors while minimizing microbial contamination risk. Family White 2015, Family White 2016. Family White 2017 investigated the drying exercises for high-quality slices of different thicknesses using a biomass cabinet dryer, fuel with charcoal, and sawdust. Drying it increased with temperature and increased with slice thickness, while the dryer achieved a maximum efficiency of 89.67%. The study confirmed that slice thickness and fuel temperature influence drying time and serving the biomass cabinet dryers an efficient and sustainable technology for plantain drying. Found on the one paper 2018, investigated the dynamics of tomato slices at 40 to 70% using an average cabinet dryer and a 10-year drying method. Drying time increased from 18 to 10 hours. As temperature increased, right between time of living model provided the best based on R-square, and RMS. The study established model as the most suitable for accurately predicting the drying level of tomato slices under cabinet drying conditions. Olumurewa for 2018. Investigating thin-layer drying behavior of linear cabinet system of monocytes at 70 degrees centigrade and evaluated 12-9 models. The modified version of this model gave the best fit with the highest and the lowest RMS and NDE values. The study established the model as a reliable predictor of hot-air drying characteristics of monocytes. Olumurewa in 2019 evaluated the combined effect of osmotic degradation and smoke drying on African countries and constant local improvement in protein, fat, moisture reduction, oxidative stability, and mineral quality. Although free fatty acid and oxide values increase with drying temperature and duration, they remain within acceptable limits, with every metal still below tolerable levels. Overall smoke cycle considered 20% solution before smoke drying produced the best quality product, demonstrating the effectiveness of the combined processing techniques, sodium chloride solution, and smoke drying at 150 degrees centigrade. Produced the best combination of nutritional quality, oxidative stability, and mineral composition, and was therefore recommended as the optimal processing condition. Olumurewa in 2020 developed extruded ready-to-eat snacks from yellow-based butter solid flour and grass-fed seeds as alternatives to wheat-based products. The butter solid and grass-fed seeds significantly improved the nutritional composition, antioxidant properties, and consumer acceptability of the snacks. With the YME formulation that's at 5% mix, 10% soybean, and 30% milk as spent to clearance species, receiving the highest overall acceptability. The study demonstrated that locally sourced commodity flours can produce nutritious, antioxidant-rich, and consumer-acceptable extruded snacks. Olumurewa in 2026 investigated the effect of extrusion temperature on non-glycemic breakfast products produced from maize, plantain, and germinated garlic plants, optimized using responsiveness methodology, increasing extrusion temperature, improved protein, fiber, ash, and blood density while reducing moisture and carbohydrate content. With 120 degrees centigrade identified as the optimum processing temperature, the study demonstrated the potential of underutilizing jaggery for producing nutritious, low glycemic breakfast mix with desirable functional properties. Food preservation engineering. Farmer 2009 evaluated different drying methods for living vegetables and found that cabinet drying at 50% best preserve research qualities, cosmic composition, minerals, and vitamin C. The study established 50% in cabinet drying as the optimal condition for producing high quality dried living vegetables with maximum nutrient retention. Farmer 192011 evaluated the effect of roasting, oven drying, and sun drying on the nutritional quality and acceptability of soy flour for composite bread production. Oven drying at 60 degrees centigrade produce the highest protein content and consumer acceptability, while roasting and sun drying reduce protein retention and acceptability. The study established 60 degrees centigrade for drying as the optimal method for producing high quality soy flour for composite bread. Farmer 2020 evaluated the effect of different drying methods on the quality of osmotically dehydrated tomato and found that sun drying and solar family drying better retain vitamin C, color, and nutritional quality than hot air canning and oven drying. The study established solar cabinet drying and sun drying as the most suitable method for producing high quality dry tomato products with nutrients, better nutrients and color retention. Farmer in 2011 investigated the effects of sample preparation and drying, methods of nutritional quality and volatile content of ginger powder, sliced, dried at 50 degrees centigrade, retain the highest volatile oil, protein, calcium, and magnesium content. After performing some right samples, the study established slicing followed by overlying activity as the optimal method for producing high-quality ginger powder. Olumurewa and other students have evaluated the addition of chemical properties of dried and binding efforts from progressive water displacement method for potential use in fish feed. The water displacements effluent contain quality protein, fat, and mineral content, despite the higher parental value, indicating greater nutritional potential. The study established dried PON, particularly for water displacement, as a promising alternative ingredient for fish feed production. Olumurewa and other students evaluated the kinetics of cassava mash from 3 approved varieties using a hybrid solar dryer and compared 17 mathematical models. The two-term explanation model versus predicted time behavior while effective control diversity and activation energy values provided important drying parameters. The study established a model suitable for the design, optimization, and efficient operation of hybrid solar cassava drying system. Post-harvest engineering. Family Rights of 2011 considered the mantra of subject matter services of Google for and found that the Henderson and Austin models best predicts the mantra social behavior and storage stability. Posted Google exhibited superior storage stability under tropical high humidity conditions because of its favorable moisture absorption characteristics. The study established the Henderson and Austin model as reliable tool for predicting storage stability of Google flour. Olumurewa and within 2014 investigated the effect of storage conditions of packaging on the functional and resting properties of lavender flour. High density polyethylene packaging stored at 20 degrees and 30% relative humidity. Best preserved, risk responsible, functional properties, and cooking quality. The study established that appropriate packaging combined with low temperature, low relative humidity is essential for maintaining the processing quality of lavender flour during storage. Akisi from Olumurewa and others, 2016, investigated the effects of processing and storage on the fatty acid composition of smoked bananas and minerals and found that storage progressively reduces beneficial omega-3 fatty acids. Frozen storage of smoked foods best preserve the omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratio and nutritional quality compared with frozen pressed fish or smoked fish compared stored under heated conditions. The study established freezing as most effective storage method for maintaining the essential fatty acid profile of the smoked cartridge. Olumurewa and other in 2016-2019 investigated the quality of substance characteristics of tacker starch under different active materials and storage temperatures using several source models. The modified model predicted quality absorption in high density polyethylene, while the also model is best specified samples packaged in low density polyethylene and plastic container. Olumurewa and other 2016 model evaluation at 20 to 40 degrees established the gap and also models as the most suitable predicting mantra substance, with 40% providing the lowest micro mantra content and improved storage stability under tropical conditions. Olumurewa and other in 2019. Olumurewa in 2019 investigated the mantra absorption characteristics of real flour and established the modified Austin model as the best predictor of its equilibrium mantra content under tropical conditions. The study provided valuable information for optimizing the packaging, storage, and supply of real flour. The Alaba Olumurewa and others 2020 designed and evaluated a 40 kilogram capacity biomass for food smoking kiln using sawdust, light powder, and companion shell as alternatives to charcoal. The kiln achieves 69.4% energy efficiency with sawdust and light powder, producing smoke fish quality comparable to charcoal. While companion shell gave the lowest drying rate, the study demonstrated the potential of agricultural waste as sustainable, renewable fuels for efficient fish smoking operations. Olumurewa in 2023 evaluated evaporative cooling system for storing coral solitoriums, leaves, and found that the effectively extended shelf life reduced microbial degeneration and preserved nutritional quality. The sponge cooling part provided a noise resolution windows and best measure retention, making it the most effective low-cost technology for reducing the service costs of living vegetables. Bioprocess engineering. Family one, production from mixed waste and found that 25% total solid produce, the highest relative biogas concentrated resulting in poor gas production due to solid segment. The study established the 25% total solid and optimal solid concentration for efficient and narrowing delegation and biogas generation from composite animal waste. Alaba Olumurewa in 2017 demonstrated that biogas working on produce fish with acceptable nutritional, mineral, microbial, and sexual qualities on the whole, of 9 liters slightly higher protein, fat, and fat content. Olumurewa in 2021 further investigated the biogas brand entities of various materials and found that the 1.5% of production model versus like the 9 of the highest RC, and RMS products. Together, the study established biogas as effective and sustainable energy source for fish smoking and drying, while providing a reliable model for predicting its drying kinetics. Alaba Olumurewa in 2017, Olumurewa in 2021. Alaba Olumurewa in 2022 evaluated the cycle genitosity of aqueous leaf extract using aluminum sulfur and GCMS reports concentration dependent inhibition of root growth 5 to 50%, chromosomal abnormality 10 to 20%, and identified POC such as 1.2 benzene-diol and 5-hydroxyl methylfurfural as major contributions, indicating the extract should be consumed with caution. Similarly, Alaba Olumurewa in 2023 demonstrated that aqueous leaf extract possesses significant mutagenic, cytotoxic, and genotoxic effects using the Ames test, SOS test. Aluminum sulfur acid and GCMS with concentration dependent root growth inhibition, chromosomal aberrations, and VOCs, including 1.2,3 benzene-diol, 1.2 benzene-diol, and 5-hydroxyl methylfurfural was otherwise indicated in the observed toxicity, warranting cautions in consumption. Alaba Olumurewa and other studies were investigated in the productive toxicity of 5 Nigerian sachet water bags in mines and found that some samples contained arsenic, chromium, and cadmium above admissible limits, with TCR and TAK values exceeding acceptable thresholds, indicating significant carcinogenic and non-carcinogenic health risks. Exposure significantly increased sperm abnormalities, reduced sperm counts, alter reproductive hormones and biochemical agents, demonstrating reproductive toxicity and emphasizing the need for stricter regulatory surveillance and quality control. Alaba Olumurewa in 2026 evaluated the effects of neem, turmeric, and areca papaya powders on biogas production from cow dung and found that all plants additives significantly enhance microbial activity and biogas heat compared with the control. Neem produced the highest relative biogas heat and microbial population, establishing it as the most effective additive for improving anaerobic digestion and sustainable biogas production. Nigeria must start playing poker with food security. Having carefully examined the concept of food engineering, food security, food processing and preservation, homegrown technologies, renewable energy and body of research that my colleagues, my students, and I have approached over the years, one fundamental question remains unanswered. These solutions are found within our universities and research institutes. Why does food insecurity continue to threaten millions of Nigerians? This question has occupied my mind throughout my academic career. My answer is simple but profound. Nigeria is playing poker with food security. The integrity of this inaugural lecture is not intended as a political slogan or a sensational metaphor. It is an evidence-based description of a national reality. In poker, players may appear confident, while concealing weak hands, hoping that fortune will eventually favor them. Sadly, this is another cost of Nigeria's approach to food security. We continue to make declarations without corresponding actions, formulate impressive policies without sustained implementation, celebrate scientific breakthroughs without commercializing them, and acknowledge the importance of indigenous technologies while continuing to depend overwhelmingly on imported solutions. In effect, we are waging the food security of over 230 million Nigerians. Governments, strong policies, weak implementations. Society Nigerian governments have recognized the strategic importance of agriculture and food security through policies and programs such as OFP, Green Revolution, ATA, AB, and the National Food Security Program aimed at increasing production, reducing post-harvest losses, promoting mechanization, value addition, and rural livelihoods. Every March 2016, World Bank 2022. However, inconsistent implementation, political disruption, inadequate research funding, weak extension services, and poor university industry linkages have left many innovations uncommercialized and confined to laboratories and publications. UNESCO 2021, World Bank 2022. Policies alone are not guaranteeing food security. Implementation is what feeds the nations. Specifically, our silent contribution to the problem. Madam Vice Chancellor, while government has often paid lip service to food policies, society has shown sufficient confidence in non-growth technologies, preferring important equipment and perceiving indigenous innovations as inferior or high risk, thereby discouraging university industry collaboration and investment. This creates a vicious cycle of local trade, weak commercialization, limited investment, and slow technological advancement. That's why the fact that leading technological nations became successful by investing in patronizing, reviving, and improving their own indigenous innovations. Conclusion. My research found evidence that solutions already exist. Throughout my academic career in food engineering, my research has consistently sought practical solutions to Nigerian food security challenges. My research has worked on improving food processing technologies, reducing post-harvest losses, developing indigenous food processing equipment and food systems, advancing biomass utilization, promoting value addition to agricultural produce, and enhancing food preservation techniques suitable for Nigerian conditions. These studies have generated practical technologies capable of improving processing efficiency, reducing energy consumption, minimizing losses, enhancing food quality, creating employment opportunity, and increasing farmers' incomes. The challenge, therefore, has never been the absence of knowledge. The challenge has been the absence of sustained commitment to deploying that knowledge. Indeed, Nigerian universities are not suffering from an innovation deficit. Nigeria is suffering from an implementation deficit. The greatest gap. Every abandoned protocol, every locally fabricated machine gathering dust, every postgraduate thesis that ends on a diving shell, every indigenous technology ignored because it has delivered made in Nigeria. Every policy laws with frontier but abandoned midway. Every processing facility without reliable electricity. Every farmer who loses produce because appropriate preservation technologies remain inaccessible represents another man of with Nigerian food security. Recommendation from gambling to nation. Madam Vice Chancellor, this lecture does not end in merely highlighting the failures of the system. Nigeria possesses fertile land, abundant renewable energy resources, vibrant entrepreneurs, dedicated researchers, innovative students, resilient farmers, and one of Africa's largest scientific communities to transform this knowledge into national prosperity. Government must move beyond policy formulation to consistent implementation. Funding for research and development must increase. University industry collaboration must become institutionalized. Our university must continue producing researchers that solve great societal problems while strengthening commercialization efforts. Indigenous technologies will be deliberately prioritized in public procurement where the military requires standards. Technology innovation centers should be strengthened, while private investors should regard universities' partners in innovation other than mere teaching institutions. Industries must recognize that investment in Nigerian technology is an investment in Nigeria's economic future. Financial institutions should develop innovation-friendly financial mechanisms for indigenous technology enterprises. Most important, Nigerians themselves must regain confidence in Nigeria ingenuity. My closing submission. As I conclude this lecture, permit me to submit that food security is not one family. It is one in your research laboratories, engineering workshops, policy chambers, classrooms, industries, financial institutions, and ultimately in the collective mindset of the nation. My research journey has convinced me that Nigeria already possesses many of the scientific and engineering solutions required to transform its food system. Our greatest challenge is not discovering new knowledge, but deploying the knowledge we already possess. Therefore, I leave this morning with the simple but urgent proposition. Nigeria must stop playing with food security issues, but rather invest both in our scientists, trust our engineers, empower our farmers, commercialize our research, patronize our homegrown technologies, and implement our policy with consistency and courage. Only then shall we transform food security from a national solution into a national reality. First and foremost, I bow in profound gratitude to Almighty God, the Alpha and the Omega, the fountain of all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Every mountain of my life and career bears a holistic testimony of His unfailing grace, abundant mercy. As 10th pastor, I stand today in this prestigious podium to deliver an inaugural lecture. It is not by human strength, intellectual progress, or personal merit, but by divine labor and sustaining hands. As the Holy Scriptures declare, by His grace, by the grace of God, I am what I am. Madam Vice President, kindly permit me to pay glory to my beloved parents of blessed memory. Pa, Henry, Amos, Famurewa, and Princess Olusola Grace Famurewa, who subsequently sacrifices prayers and commitment to my education, lay the foundation for every achievement I celebrate today. Though they are no longer with us, I dedicate this honor to their enduring legacy of love, discipline, and faith, praying that their gentle souls continue to rise to the perfect things. To my other loving parents, Late Masana Ignacio London, and Mrs. Elizabeth Jenny London, thank you, dear, for adopting me as your eldest son. I have no idea of regret for being part of that family. Madam Vice President, permit me to pay national tribute to my late General Hussein, Pastor Joseph Akode, Okunola Kibuya Odudari, usually called Bahanidus, whose exemplary life of faith, sacrificial service, and unwavering devotion to God profoundly shaped my spiritual journey and demonstrated that the apostolic commitment recorded in Scripture remains attainable today. Though he has departed his early realm, his enduring legacy is life that lives on in the many lives he transformed, and the lasting footprints of righteousness he left behind. My senior pastor in Engr, Pastor Alaba Olumurewa, thank you for maintaining the whole time hearts and minds. My church members both at the Leisure Council and Engr branch of Christ Confidence Church, thank you for your unwavering support. May your labor of love don't go in vain. My congratulations goes to the past Vice Chancellors and the incoming Vice Chancellor, Professor Adenike Ayawada, who won my honors and dedication with our community. Thank you for your trust in me. You are not taken for granted. My appreciation goes to the two Deputy Vice Chancellors, Professor T.T. Ames, and Professor S.S.O.D. working with you is a privilege. To all my lecturers in the Department of Agriculture and Environmental Engineering, I give it to you. I say big thank you to all my friends and classmates from University of Ghana, both at my undergrad and postgraduate year at school from 1988 to 2005, except my service year. I wish to declare openly here today that you are all wonderful. Madam Vice Chancellor, there is this word of wisdom. One need not make the fire to roast the snake to be as long as the snake, as the length of the snake. If I am to be distinguished from everybody that has made a part of this job, and we need another inaugural day, which I know you will not grant. All the former of SARS, the UNDERMINIng, Professor Adebayo, my greatest SARS family, you are too great. Greatest technologists, you are you. My greatest biotechnologist, I don't like that. My dynamic and lively brothers from friends, I'm enjoying your cooperation. The registry and worship sections of the university led by Mr. Jasadele and Mr. Peter Osaru, my librarian, Dr. Robert Awoyemi and his team, works department under the supervision of engineering. I recognize every one of you. I want to appreciate all the staff of greenhouse units of the university, the dynamic staff of Badiso and Sons, thanks to you all. I want to specifically recognize my sister from another mother, Professor Oluwayemis Ademarusi, and my brother, Professor Ademilana, and my friend for 31 years ago, Professor Paula Ken Yayo. My research team, Professor Benjamin Washington, Dr. Roy Labido, Dr. Oke Gavansi, Dr. Israel, thank you for your cooperation. I want to appreciate my cooperating and progressive students, Dr. Janet, Dr. Buzoyi, Dr. Melissa Busola, Dr. Patricia Edino, Dr. Anthony Omoye, Olale Engineer Peter Bedewiwa, Ruth Adeseye, Peter Ojo Adeniyi, just to mention a few, you are all important. My brother from another mother, Professor Amos Adebusi, thank you for being here always. Professor Michael Alatichi, you are a wonderful man. Professor Babatunde Adewumi Omoribade, Professor Diva Ogushi, Professor Ketai, Dr. Festus Osolade, Dr. Sam Olade, and colleagues from AG Department of Food. I appreciate you all. Nigerian Institute of Agricultural Engineers at the national level, at the zonal level, Institute of Food Engineers, Professor Patrick Ngodi, Professor John Olajide, Professor Folani Adobe, I'm proud to be part of you. Posterity will not smile at me. If in a day like this, I don't appreciate the progressive efforts of my brother, Dr. Oluwati Olabe Isaac Famorewa. How about that? Will I forget 1985? When as a secondary school teacher, collecting 499, you saved 599 after some months. I wanted to buy a black and white television. You gave me 199 to 599. There was a beautiful early celebration at 599, but because you wanted me to have A's, distinctions in all my whole level subjects, you denied yourself and insisted on buying this television at 499 in spite of the fact that I wish you bought the levels. It was as a result of that sacrifice that I had on my subjects, including simple classroom English language, with which I could study engineering. God remains the foundation of all, while you remain the pillar of my life. I'm eternally grateful, my dear brother, that I'm a man just exhausted to the time, a man in whom there is no deceit. In all those my hard days, you stood by me. The heaven is just beginning to fix your life, to your last hour. God will not forsake you. To my other siblings, this is Anike Arubiade, this is Deborah, this is Bidu Omotayo, this is Blessed Deoye, my wonderful sisters. Thank you all for all you have done. And I'd like to say distinguished members of the University Committee, guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, thank you sincerely for attending this encouragement and presence on this memorable occasion. To my beloved children, my son, Ifelwo, and my daughters, Yunifo, and everyone. Thank you for your understanding and unwavering belief in from Yahweh, Lady Dr. Ken, steadfast support, sacrifices, prayers, and companionships are being the bedrock of this job. This milestone is as much yours as it is mine. I celebrate you with upround love and gratitude. I humbly seek your kind permission to conclude this presentation with the spirit of gratitude. I return all glory, honor, and adoration to the Lord whose unfailing has made this day possible. Baba, with your permission, I offer my sacrifice of praise in the basis to all the world with all the people.
Alaba Olumurewa for the well-delivered inaugural. On the purpose of those who may be attending for the first time, while we continue to acknowledge God as our Maker, in the inaugural lecture, we do not move on the ground. You can do that for 1 hour. Thank you for this beautiful lecture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is customary for us to acknowledge some special people in our midst. Today, attending this inaugural lecture, we have our own immediate past Vice Chancellor of Food, Professor Olumurewa. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. We also have with us the immediate past rector. He is actually the pioneer rector, Federal Polytechnic in Engr, and the chairman, Governing Council of Ekiti State Polytechnic, Professor Alaba Olumurewa. I popularly call him Power. We have with us our father in the university, Professor Emeritus Cornelius Adekoso. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. We also have with us today former Vice Chancellor, Wellspring University, Professor Tom Ofuya. Thank you, sir, for joining us at this inaugural lecture. We have with us an elder statesman, a qualified doctor by name. He is Professor D.R. Ogunseyi, former Deputy Academic Food. We also have here today a former registrar turned professor, my sister, my friend, Professor Modupe Ajayi. Thank you, ma'am, for always joining us. We have with us the former librarian of Food, Prince Adeshita. you, sir, for joining us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a professor that is okay in Futa. Professor okay, thank you for always coming and we recognize you in your honor's honor. We have with us again a distinguished alumnus of this university, a former member of council, and a friend and sister of the inaugural lecturer, Professor Eunice Adewale. Thank you for joining us. We have one of our senior citizens, a former governing council chairman, Federal Polytechnic, Engr, Professor Olumurewa. Thank you, sir, for being here today. We have missed you, sir. We have with us the immediate past registrar of the University of Benin, one of our shining lights, a good ambassador of our university, Mr. Adebola Bobola. Thank you, Mr. Bobola, for joining us. We recognize and see you joining us. We have with us Mr. Adewale Abiodun of Abe Shoes Outfit, Ilesha. Thank you, sir, for coming all the way from Ilesha. Also with us, a former council member of Futa, the immediate past dean of the School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology, Professor Oluwatoye. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us today. We have members of the Christ Trumpeters Church, Ilesha. Please, if you are from the Christ Trumpeters Church, Ilesha, kindly rise so that we can recognize you. Christ. Thank you very much for joining us today. We also have the members of Christ Trumpeters Church. Please, if you are from the Engr branch, kindly rise so that we also recognize you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we have with us Mr. and Mrs. Olojo, in-law of the inaugural lecturer. Mr. and Mrs. Olojo, thank you for coming. We have here today Mrs. Adewale Bosede, sister of inaugural lecturer. Thank you, ma'am, for coming all the way from Ilesha. We have with us Mrs. Omotayo, also sister of the inaugural lecturer. Thank you for coming. And another sister, Mrs. Agubiade Inke. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the children of the inaugural lecturer, Olumurewa, son of the inaugural lecturer. Thank you very much. We have Olumurewa Mary, daughter of the inaugural lecturer, and we also have Olumurewa Oluwadarasibe Eunice, daughter of the inaugural lecturer. Thank you very much. We have with us today somebody that the inaugural lecturer himself acknowledged and thanked her for her steadfast support. He thanked her for her sacrifices, thanked her for her prayers and companionship, and she said that this has been the bedrock of the journey that she has been able to make. We recognize now Dr. Kayode Olumurewa, the wife of the Thank you, ma'am, for the efforts to produce this our inaugural lecturer for us today. The inaugural lecturer celebrates you all, every member of the family with profound love and gratitude. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now recognize the most important group of persons here present today. Great materials. And the most important
been a slight rain. The floor is slippery, so be very careful while navigating your way out of the auditorium. The 206th inaugural lecture of our university with the title Sustainable Materials Design, Prescription for Optimizing Resource Efficiency, Functionality and Structural Integrity will be delivered on Tuesday, 8 September by Engineer Professor Kenneth Kanayo Alademe. You are all cordially invited. Again, the 207th in the inaugural lecture series of our great institution will be delivered by Professor Oluwatoyin Catherine Agbonifu on the 22nd day of September 2026. The title is Deep Knowledge Community, Triad of Anatomy, Dynamics, and Pattern of Learning Principles. You are also cordially invited. While the 208th in the series will be delivered by Professor Olumurewa Abiolu, and the title is Information Past, Information Present, Information Forever, Understanding the Question that remain in October. We are also cordially invited. Professors are enjoined to meet at the car park from Dr. Festus Oshun, the Larry Osholane will be waiting for them. Students, I will announce that in April, and then other members of the FUTA community should be present at the foyer in front of the auditorium. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I love spiritual and temporal leaders of our academic community. I respectfully invite you to stand for the FUTA